Pond season is in full swing, and so is the maintenance. Today we're going to tackle a few things around here, and I'm going to show you one thing about the aerator you probably didn't know. Pond days are soon upon us, and while the water looks great, the beach is getting there. I raked it last night. Still a number of things to do around here to keep this thing looking nice. Some trimming. Like I said, we're going to work on the aerator. Got some aquatic vegetation. Need to treat the pond today. Got a pole to fix over here. We'll see what we get to. Well pump is still rocking. But let's talk about this aerator for a moment. So if you've been with the channel for a while, you know that I've had an aerator in my pond for a long time. Had a DIY unit up that way near the barn for a few years until it kind of died out and wasn't near as efficient. And now we moved to this Airmax aerator. The one thing I didn't know is that these things actually require maintenance. I knew that these could be rebuilt, but I always thought that that was, you do it when you need to, not a maintenance item. Turns out there is a maintenance interval, and that interval is dictated based upon how deep your aerator heads are, i.e. the PSI your pump is working through. I'm running about 12 to 15 PSI, so my maintenance interval is about 9 months. I'm overdue. So Airmax, the pond guy, they sell rebuild kits comprised of some sleeves, rubber gaskets, the heads, everything you need to rebuild the unit. Now, I'm not gonna actually build this on camera for today. We're gonna pull this out of here, take it to the garage. I'm gonna do that in the off hours, you know, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night when everyone's sleeping and the sun's down and I can't be productive. Well, the sun's not really down by 9:30 in Indiana, but you know what I mean. If you do have an aerator in your pond, you're gonna wanna check to make sure that you're maintaining it properly. Airmax takes care of that for you. Honestly, I don't know if my old system, the one little cheapy unit I bought, I don't know where I'd even turn to get a rebuild kit or if they even make one. So we're gonna pull this out of here and then we're gonna pop around and do a number of other things. I got my camera guy in tow here. Actually, change of plans. You'll see here I have this thing embedded into the ground. The bottom of this has a little lip on it. I've got it all nice and tucked away, sealed up. I don't want to have to pull this thing out and take it to the house. You have to undo it from the bottom. So we are going to rebuild this here, but this thing's been running 24/7 for about 10 months straight. We'll let that thing cool off and we'll come back to it. So next we're going to start with my favorite thing to do of all time. Yeah, we're not doing that. We're going to treat the pond right now. So a little bit of muck reducer here on the beach area. You guys saw me do that in another video. Pond clear the packets. I'll let him throw them in. And then EcoBoost PRx. Got to mix it up with some water. All right, pond clear packets. You got one? All right, don't trip, but yeah, go ahead and launch it out there as far as you want. That'll work. We've got 7 more to go. We got to space them out though. Hey, it kind of skipped. It's all right. That's pretty close. That'll work. I would say the pond is 98% full, maybe 99. We've had a pretty wet spring here. More rain on the way tonight, I believe. Looking good. Still have to fix the leak though. Couple scoops of muck away on the beach area anyways. I lost my camera guide to the swing set over there. I don't know if you saw that or not. And then the last one we're gonna do is the EcoBoost bacteria. This is a powder, you mix it in water and then toss it in. I'm not gonna show you this. I made a whole video about the system I'm using a while ago. I'll link it below. But so far, so good. This has kept the water look amazing. And I've been able to use less dye and keep it looking nice, which is awesome. I got all the EcoBoost in the water. It's a little more labor intensive than say the pond clear, or you know what I used to do is throw like a block of bacteria in the water. However, you're mixing it up, getting it already diluted in the water, and you disperse it around the pond. So much more effective. I am loving the results I'm seeing from this already. But the clarity of the water right now, and this is, you know, at the end of a 2-week period of maintenance, so kind of its worst it's going to be. It's fantastic, and I got way less dye in the water than I ever would before. Those little minnows swimming there. Speaking of fish, we have way too many bluegill. We also have hybrids in here, which are probably the bigger culprit, but they've been nibbling on us when we swim. I'm ready to get some of them out of here. Got a fish trap on the Defender and one more, a nicer one, on order. See if we can't get some of these bluegill out of here. It's midday now, so there's not a lot of groups swimming around. I have a photo I'll throw in here. In the evenings, man, you're seeing schools of 15, 20 of them, no problem. It's time to pull some out. So for now, we're just gonna set one of these little nylon traps, see if we can't get some of these guys out of here. Bait it with a little bit of hot dog, and go get some lunch myself, and we'll check it in a couple hours. So this bluegill problem has been ongoing for a while now. I've always thought it was namely the hybrids, but the more reading I do, realize it could be the hybrids kind of also stirring up the regular bluegill, and there's just too many of them. I bought more bass last spring. We fished a number of them out, but they reproduce so fast. If I go back and do it again, well, I don't know if I'd change it if I go back and do it again. The fishing's great. Just wish there was less biting involved. How hungry you think these guys are? I know you're supposed to chum the water ahead of time and all that fun stuff, but we're just gonna a little test here. See what we come back to in an hour or so, or two. Also, does anyone know, do they even like Johnsonville smoked brats? I don't know. So like I mentioned, I raked out the beach yesterday with the tractor and I started cutting down all this riffraff along here. Let me show you the absolute best tool to do that. I still need to come back through here and rake all the garbage out, but it's not a leaf rake. It's not a rake of any sort. An action hoe. If you have a beach, this is exactly the tool you need to keep it looking nice. Because with a rake, you're trying to move the sand itself. With this thing, you're just cutting the roots off of it. And it moves so nicely through sand. So then you come back with a rake and take care of all the debris. Then there's this muck roller, which you roll across the bottom to help kind of dislodge any vegetation growing and just prevent it from happening in the first place. And my knife is where? It's not. I'll tell you what, the thing's not light. Where's my knife? Did I use it and throw it? Next best thing, putty knife. It is cooking. Man, it's hot. Question is, how much assembly did you guys give me? Hopefully next to none. Hello. Oh man, looks like quite a bit. Got some length to it though. They see me rolling, they hating. 20 minutes, wasn't bad. This thing is awesome. I am really excited about this, more than I should be. It kind of looks like a medieval torture device, but it also kind of makes me think of a heavy clawfoot roller. All right, let's go give this thing a whirl. You can already see right there in the sand how it works. It's just kicking the bottom up. You guys see that? It's got the teeth on it are cupped a little bit, so they're not just straight tined. You can see there how the teeth, they're not straight, they're kind of bent, and so they scoop as they move and agitate the bottom, just like when people swim around. Keeps the bottom agitated. I like this thing. Ooh, big rock. Where'd you come from? Oh. I'm excited about this because I know exactly what it's going to do. It's like when you bring the tractor through the beach. The more you turn this sand, nothing can grow. So if we do that here in the pond, it's going to keep this beach area nice and clean. That's one thing it will do though. It's going to muck up your bottom of your pond, or your water, I mean. Get you a better shot. I mean, even if anything too, look, that's turning clay. So there's sand about 35 feet, 40 feet out there. This is all sand bottom. But we get suspended clay, right, whenever the water gets agitated, and then it settles on the sand, and you go out there and walk around, and you're walking, it feels like you're walking in clay as opposed to sand, at least a little bit. The more I do this, getting traffic on all this sand, if people aren't out here swimming every day, then we will push the clay out of here. Well, it grabbed something there, you can see. I don't know if they sell extension kits for this, but it's designed to keep going. There's no like finished handle at the back of this. So you could add like 3 more poles. Then again, if I wasn't wearing shoes, I'd probably just walk in the water. Not something I advise doing the day you're gonna have people over to swim. But I'm certainly gonna make this part of my regimen. This is cool. Also here, check this out. It makes sense. I didn't really think about it before I started using it and read the manual. I do that on occasion. This drum fills with water to add weight to it. So it sits, here you see it pouring out the side there. I mean, it could be an all steel build, but then the whole thing would weigh 50 pounds all the time. All right, let's add that one into the mix. I like that one a lot. Let's go check our fish trap real quick. I may need to move it into the shallows. I saw a number of fish schooling here just a moment or two ago. I added a piece of bread a while ago too. There's a few in there. I see 3 little bluegill. I'm not going to pull them out and put them in my holding tank right now, but if you guys can tell, that guy there, the angry one, he's absolutely a hybrid. We've got hundreds of these things, so we'll set this back in, catch some more dinner. So for reference to, it's early June. I'm pretty much posting this as I shoot it. And our water temp on Mr. Shark here is, it's like 82 degrees. Came up quickly in the last 2 or 3 weeks. So this isn't really one of those videos where I'm really showing you anything new and flashy. It's one of those kind of behind the scenes of what's it like to own a pond. There's a lot more that goes into it, I think, than people really realize. You know, if folks see a pond, they compare it to a pool. Oh, it's way less money, and it probably is in the grand scheme. I'm not buying hundreds of dollars of chemicals every single month. I'm not paying hundreds of dollars of electricity every single month. But when you have a pond like this, you got to think about everything that goes into it. Yes, you want the water to look nice. That's priority 1. But then there's things like this dock. The railing needs stained. I need to power wash it. Probably ought to get rid of that poop before the kids come out here and play this weekend. The beach is always needing some love. Like I said, I raked it with a tractor last night. That's a big help. Then you got to go through and do all the side pieces. Need to clean all this area up, you know, pull it. I try not to spray very much, if at all possible, around the beach. Don't like having chemicals where people are barefoot and eating. And trimming along here, trimming around the pond where the hopper can't get it. Which, by the way, is very little. The hopper can get pretty much everything. And then just, you know, mowing everything to make it look nice. Maintaining the aerator, making sure the well pump's still prime form. Got cattails and reeds to take care of. Making sure the sand in here is clean using my new fancy tool. Trying to get rid of the bluegill. And I got one of these guys here to replace. One of those that bent last fall. That's for our giant sail canopy. If you haven't seen that before, check back, or maybe I'll find a picture from last year. I got these 4 poles. Got 1, 2, 3, 4. We send up 2 big triangle shades to cover, I won't say all the beach, but gives a good amount of shade. Have them on pulleys, raise them up and down. It's a nice little feature to have. Oh, check it out. That muck raiser makes like really cool waves on the bottom of the pond there. Kind of looks like the ocean. Oh yeah, and my leak over there is not fixed yet either. That might be happening real soon. Well, I might attempt to fix it real soon. Don't know if I'll actually get it fixed. We'll see. And so I just wanted to share with you guys a little behind the scenes, if you will, of kind of what goes on or what I do to maintain this pond. But I also don't want you to think I'm complaining. I absolutely love this thing. It's one of the most tranquil things about our property. Living in the woods is great, but to have a pond like this in your backyard, it's absolutely incredible. And I would never trade this for a pool. You know, anything worth having is worth working for, and that's where this falls. So if you guys enjoy seeing this pond and everything that goes along with it, hit that subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. I have a couple projects in the works for the pond. One I won't get to, I don't think this year, but building kind of a little shed over here, cabana style, kind of have some storage for all the pond floats, fishing gear, etc. live kind of right here, maybe connected to the beach. That's maybe a summer of 2027 venture. But the other one is on the list for 2026. And I figured if I put it in a video, maybe you guys will hold me to it and I'll actually get it done. Building a giant waterfall, water feature, whatever you want to call it, right in this corner here. The general plan is to mound up about 10, 12 feet of dirt, kind of have it fanned down both sides. The solar powered well pump will be the primary source of water. Pump it up, kind of have a, you know, big flat rock, like a weir, I think they call it. Runs down, maybe pools halfway, runs more, bunch of big boulders, river rock, flows into the pond. I may even excavate some of this back with the backhoe to kind of make this area a more own dedicated pool, if you will. And as of last fall, we have electricity out here. I'm going to put a giant pump in the pond for that wow factor. And when we want to, on demand, also pull water from the pond, have it feed the waterfall, something you can hear from the beach. I'm thinking, you know, 6,000 to 9,000 gallons an hour on top of the 25 to 28 gallons a minute we already got going there. And then I'm already thinking I can put illumination on that so you can see it from afar at night. All kinds of cool options with this. I just got to find the time to make it happen and get everything planned out. I even thought too we could put some aquatic plants in here, really dress this up, make it kind of like a water garden. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. I am cooking. It is really hot. I'm about ready to jump in this thing. Hit that subscribe button. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.